Well, last night's Dynamite was the last Dynamite before Double or Nothing. So how would the Golem show look this time around? I would say it was alright. Alright. You know, we did get some big points on the show. I mean, the MJF promo, the Four Pillars segment, that was good. Sabu made his AEW debut and will be in the corner for Adam Cole in this unsanctioned match on Sunday for Chris Jericho. But overall, the go-home edition of Dynamite was, like I said, alright, middle. I mean, wasn't bad, but was alright for the go edition. But Double or Nothing overall is looking to be as we figure, a pretty good pay-per-view. It should be on Sunday. But, excuse me. But yeah, because we got the Four Pillars match for the World Heavyweight Championship in the main event. We got the 21-man casino blackjack battle royal for the AEW International title, which, based on the layout we got earlier, I think it's safe to say that we have one winner in mind, judging from that photo. But yeah, we got that. We got two women's title matches on the show. We got Jamie Hayter versus Tony Storm, okay. Then we got Jade Cargill versus Taya Valkyrie. Look, which, I mean, if it's on this show, I'm guessing one of two things are gonna happen. Either A, Taya is gonna win, or B, we see Chris Statlander make her return. That's my guess as to what happens next. Then we got the TNT title ladder match, which will take place between Wardlow and Christian Cage. That should be a fun one as well. The tag team title match, I can tell, is going to be, suspect. Three of the four guys in that match I trust are going to have a good match. It's just that fourth guy, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But, yeah. Then we got the Adam Cole Chris Jericho unsanctioned match as well. Anarchy in the Arena, the Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite. That's going to be fun as well. But, yeah, Double or Nothing is going to be good. Very good. We know that. Dynamite Wednesday wasn't all that great, but we'll go overall. Aussie Open. Talk about them too. But before we get into it, thank you for joining me. If you're new, Want to look through all the videos on the channel, click that subscription there in that area, as well as the notification bell, take you for all my video updates, etc. Find them on the channel as well. But thank you, and let's get started. So we got a new exciting tag team to be added to the AEW tag team ranks. Aussie Open. Representing United Empire, led by Will Ospreay. You know, Aussie Open has made plenty of appearances on AEW. To the point where you were surprised they weren't under contract. Excuse me. But Aussie Open, great tag team. Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. It was unfortunate, the injury to Mark Davis that took place. I think it was announced over the weekend that Mark Davis suffered an injury and they were forced to relinquish both the IWGP Tag Team titles and the New Japan Strong Tag Team titles as well. But alas, we did see Kyle Fletcher on Dynamite as he went one-on-one with Orange Cassidy for the international title, which was a fun match itself. But hearing the news afterwards that Aussie Open is all elite, that's something. Now, I'm not sure about the severity of Mark Davis's injury. I mean, obviously they had to relinquish both set of titles, so he'll be out for a bit, but nonetheless, great for both, and it may be a interesting sign or harbinger of things to come, because if Aussie Open is all elite, and we know how tight Will Ospreay is, those two, perhaps it helps open the door, per se, for Will Ospreay, who has made a fair amount of appearances on Dynamite as well. For him to sign with AEW full time. But yeah, going good. But speaking of Ospreay, so for those who don't know, unfortunately the only thing they really showed from the event was, well, not unfortunately, but fortunately, the one thing they showed from the event over the weekend was that Will Nightingale, they showed later in the show, beat Mercedes Moné, who, for the New Japan Strong Women's Title Championship, and unfortunately Mercedes was injured, so hopefully she's okay, and all, and that great accomplishment for Will. I mean, that was the first time we saw Mercedes on AEW television, really. So that's another possible thing to come, but hopefully Mercedes is not out long. But we'll see. But yeah, one more thing about the event. So Will Ospreay defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi, and according to what they said, the announcer said, at Dominion on June 4th, it'll be Will Ospreay versus Lance Archer, and the winner will face or be the number one contender for Kenny Omega and the IWGP US Heavyweight Championship. Now, Forbidden Door is at the end of June in Toronto. And I love Lance Archer, but I think we can see where this is going. Where Ospreay beats Archer at Dominion. And then we get the rematch with Omega at Forbidden Door Part 2 in Toronto. So that'd be a hell of a way spark at the end of June. So that would be interesting. So, yeah. But with that out of the way, now let's get into the review part of the show, if we say. So, like I said, Kyle Fletcher, he went one-on-one with Orange Cassidy. That actually opened up the show. So, we got a good match for the national title. And a bit of a prelude to, I mean, not really a prelude, but getting Orange Cassidy one last defense before it seems like he ultimately loses the Blackjack Battle Royal against who? I'll get into it a bit. So, this is a good match. So, Fletcher went for a top move off the top rope, maybe a moonsault or something. Orange Cassidy saw it, dumped Fletcher on the apron, hit DT to Fletcher on the outside, tried for a 10 count, but Fletcher got him in the nick of time. Cassidy then hit another DT, but Fletcher fought out after. Fletcher then matched a thrust kick and really got on the offense here. Pretty much his whole match. He had a thrust kick for their fall later in the match. So Fletcher caught Cassidy and hit like a spinning sidewalk Michinoku driver for a good near fall. He had not one but two tombstone pile drivers. Orange Cassidy kicked out. That spot I didn't like. Fletcher hit a sit out Michinoku driver off the top or middle rope for another good near fall. Fletcher then went for what looked like a running power slam, but Cassidy slipped through, tied up Fletcher's legs, hit victory roll 1, 2, 3, and Cassidy somehow retains the international title here. Now, gearing towards the Blackjack Battle Royal at Double or Nothing. Let's see if I can pull it up. But they released the picture of who would be in the Battle Royal at Double or Nothing. One sec. So they announced the commands, and it included the likes of Keith Lee, Swerve Strickland, Ricky Starks, Juice Robinson, Penta, Big Bill, Lee Moriarty, the Best Friends, the Garcia athletes. Another team I forgot are Butcher and Blade as well. A couple more guys. And Jay White, the Switchblade Jay White. Now, I'm sure many of us were curious as to why Jay White versus Ricky Starks happened last week. I mean, that was a match kind of built for the pay-per-view. But you think about it, okay. Jay White, you want to help build up Bullet Club Gold. And you know how good Jay White is. If you want to not beat Orange Cassidy clean, and you want to help continue this story, it seems, between Bullet Club Gold and Ricky Starks, there's a way for them to screw Ricky Starks in this Battle Royal and have Jay White ultimately win the Battle Royal and win the international title. It's a great reign for Orange Cassidy, but this is a way to keep him and that range looking strong for Orange Cassidy, it seems. And then, because Ricky Starks is a babyface, so you build the feud around this title, and Jay White's going to help it. Let's say Jay White goes on this very good feud, and then you can revisit this match down the line to where Ricky Starks wins the title, and then he looks better for it. Because we know MJF, the titles are in a weird situation. We know that. With MJF not losing the title until 2024. And we know Well, we don't know what's going on with TNT title, really. I mean, for all intents and purposes, Christian Cage might as well win the title on Sunday from Wardlow. That's the way it seems. But, yeah, Jay White wins the Battle Royal, perhaps with the help of Juice Robinson, and maybe someone else helps and aligns with Bullet Club Gold, perhaps. Then Jay White holds the belt because Orange Cassidy, with the way his matches have looked as of late, he cannot win this Battle Royal. He just cannot. I don't see how. I just don't. But yeah, this is a good match. Show up in Dynamite. Yeah, based on the attack from last week of Kyle Fletcher. And speaking of Ricky Starks and Bullet Club Gold, Starks was interviewed by Renee. Starks said he's done with Bullet Club and it's time for him to move on. He made his intention known for the international title and the Blackjack Battle Royal for Double or Nothing. And then right away we see Juice Robinson attack Ricky Starks. And automatically them three start brawling in the back. And Jay White took a chair, hit Ricky Starks hard in the back, and basically pulled up his seat and told him, think this over, and you think you're done with Bullet Club Gold? Jay White said, no, we're just continuing to have fun. Jack Perry, he had a decent little promo. Talked about his times in Las Vegas. Talked about how they have groomed him as a human being. Talked about memories. And said that another big memory in Vegas. Talked about AEW. Saying that after Sunday he'll be the new AEW World Champion. There's that. Jungle Boy's coming along decently with his promos. Decently. FTR. Yeah, we had one match and then we had a few solid segments, but yeah. So, FTR, they were in the ring. Basically, talk about or address Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, saying how they've outsmarted them. But Jack said at the end, Jarrett's going to have to find new employment and address the Queen of the Mountain. But he said not the bitch of the wife he has in Karen. He says Dixie Carter. Then we hear Mark Briscoe's music play. And then we see Mark Briscoe who will be the special guest referee on Sunday. He was out there. So, next thing we had Mark was irate. He was wondering what the pile driver was about weeks ago when Dax was basically blinded. Gave a pile driver to Mark Briscoe. So he said that was an accident. They were trying to reason with him. Dax offered a handshake, and Mark was not having it, so he said, "Don't try to embarrass me here." And then he offered it again. And then all of a sudden we hear, so there was pushing and stuff between Dax and Mark Briscoe, and then all of a sudden Mark left and he was furious, shoved off. Karen, he slapped Lethal in the face, or not Lethal, Jeff in the face. And then he like shoved down Dut, and then Jay Lethal tried to go for a hug, but Mark was like, "I know you're my boy, but I'm tired of this BS." And then Mark walked off, and where does Mark Briscoe's loyalties lie as a special guest referee? I mean, I wish I knew. So then we got this segment which kind of confused me. So, Sammy Guevara, he was backstage, and Renee talked about the offer still for MJF that, you know, if Sammy were to lay down for MJF on Sunday, he would still get that lengthy paycheck. And Sammy was like, no. Sammy Guevara's not for sale. Yes, he's done some bizarre things here in AEW, but Sammy doesn't have a price. So, simple as that. He said some more shtick, but yeah. Then we got what I enjoyed. Basically, anytime these three are on TV, that's good. But so we got the House of Black, another open house match. I mean, just the visuals look great. Versus AR Fox, Blake Christian, and Gran Metalik. You know, AR Fox, we've seen him time in AEW. He's stellar. Blake Christian, you know, haven't seen him much since he left WWE or NXT, but still very solid. Metalik, of course, he's very good as well. But short match, but challengers brought it for what it was worth. So I didn't hear stipulation though. So high flying, obviously to start. Christian and Metalik both went for stuff on the outside. And then I believe one of the two were caught or went like a slam or something to Buddy on the outside. One of the weird spots of the match where Fox hit a senton on many of the people on the outside, which I can tell Bret Hart probably didn't like that. And then back in the ring, so is Air Fox and Blake or Buddy Matthews. So Matthews hit a curb stomp on Air Fox. Then this was an exciting way to finish. Fox was locked in by Matthews in basically his girlfriend Rhea Ripley's finisher that inverted Texas Cloverleaf by Buddy Matthews. Blake Christian tried to get involved, or Metalik, excuse me. Metalik tried to get involved, but Malachi locked him into a knee bar on the other side of the ring, and then Blake Christian tried to snap Buddy Matthews from the hold, but Brody King locked him in a sleeper on the apron and then dropped him, Darby Allin style, like he's done many times before. So that was a great visual as Air Fox tapped out, House of Black retained. Good solid match between these six. More House of Black on TV. We can all appreciate. So then we had a little, of course, for the Golem show, we had more backstage segments, pretty much. But so then we had a little video package for Anarchy in the Arena, which led to a promo from the BCC backstage. Brian was talking about how Claudio and Yuta are going to take care of business tonight and wait the Ring of Honor tag team pals from Lucha Brothers and how they had a big business on Sunday versus the Elite. Moxley sounded great. Talked about how they're the best here. How when he says that, his hand doesn't flinch or he doesn't shake because he means that. And how on Sunday that'll be cocked and loaded and show the true mean between professionals and amateurs and who's the best in AEW. MJF, pretty much, I would say besides the press conference, was the best thing on Dynamite. But yeah, so MJF, for a second, he rolled up the fans by saying, you know, people talk about homegrown, but some of them don't have the privilege of working for another promotion, hint, hint, or the other side. But they said that they have given some of the best matches in AEW in the company, and now they basically are AEW. So that kind of riled up the crowd really for the first time on Wednesday. So MJF kind of ran about Darby, talking about Mount Everest, his desire to climb that. Went on and on. And then Darby Allin came out, told about a story about him in high school and him living in his car, and him getting to be in AEW, the opportunities it's afforded him, like being with Tony Khan, or Hawk, excuse me. But yeah, Tony Khan as well. Him driving a car over his home with that guy in front, can't his name, but and talked about how he will climb Mount Everest next year. So there was that. And then, eventually, we know MJF gave him a low blow, and then was about to hit him with Dynamite down the ring. Sammy Guevara came out, saved Darby, and then Jungle Boy came out and decked MJF with a lariat, then held up the AEW World title. Interesting, but there was that. Next up, after that segment, we had Taya Valkyrie versus Lady Frost. I mean, look, with all due respect, this match, I mean, it was a decent match, but I mean, preluding to Taya versus Jade, which, again, unless one of the two things I mentioned earlier happened, really, why this match? I mean, Jade's title reign has been a complete blister on just on this women's division. Anywho, so Taya hit a backdrop bomb for a near fall. Frost did have some good offense in here. I only think I've seen her on Dark. This was her first AEW Dynamite. I think they said she had Nice twisting crossbody off top. Ultimately, Taya won with the road to Valhalla for the win. And there you go. Next, we got Hangman Page backstage. So, Marvez asks where does his allegiance lie with the elite and their friendships. Page basically said, I don't know if he and Kenny were ever friends, basically acquaintances, old rivals. But it said they have a mission to take out the BCC on Sunday, and they will do it. And saying, be careful what you wish for. Or so we got Daniel Garcia versus Roderick, or actually first was contract signing between Adam Cole and Chris Jericho. Now I can understand because this is an unsanctioned match, so why a contract signing for that? I can understand that. Then anywho, so we're getting this title match, which or unsanctioned match, excuse me. And so Cole had no hesitation but to sign the contract. Then he basically threw it at Chris. Chris signed it. Cole said, well, I know why you did that weeks ago. Or at first he didn't know, but now he does. Why he orchestrated that beatdown on Ritz Baker while Adam Cole was handcuffed. And he said because he's comeback. Jericho's probably, well, what kind of man are you? Going back to that weeks ago, where to let it happen where you were inches away. Jericho said careful because he has an army behind him for backup on Sunday. Cole said he knows the numbers. That's why he called someone from Las Vegas for backup, for reinforcements. And Chris Jericho was like, who's crazier than Jericho Appreciation Society? And Cole was like, the suicidal, homicidal, genocidal Sabu. And Sabu made his entrance. I definitely did not see that coming. Definitely. So, anywho, obviously Taz said, I know that guy. Yep. So, Sabu made his entrance into the ring. And Jericho was a bit in disbelief. I feel bad for Daddy Magic, Matt Menard. Cole tossed him a chair and Sabu just threw it in Matt Menard's face. Jeez. We're about to get a spot from Sabu, I think, on Sunday. I think so. Ay, ay, ay. I did not see that. So, this was the perfect prelude to next match. Daniel Garcia versus Roderick Strong, which you knew was going to be a fun match. So, I mean, back and forth, this match fun. So, good as you'd expect. So, in the end, Roddy hit a gutbuster followed with a end of heartache. That's his finisher for the win. Roderick Strong is basically undefeated so far in AEW. Good stuff. Good stuff. I mean, Daniel Garcia is young. He still has room to improve, but he's going to come a long way. Yeah, this is a good little match. Well, Nightingale gave a little vignette, video package on her win over the weekend over Mercedes Monet for the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. Good on her. Hopefully, this helps propel her, I think, in the fans' eyes and, perhaps AEW's eyes, I'd say. It was unique, though, because it was the first time we saw Mercedes on AEW TV. So hopefully she's alright. Main event. Claudio and Yuta versus the Lucha Brothers for the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles. I'll be honest, Ring of Honor titles ending in AEW Go Home show is not my finest idea. Or the best idea, to be honest. Main event, this good match. So, Lucha Brothers obviously had early with their high flying Suicida, Tobeys, etc. And then Phoenix hit a power driver for a good near fall. They had it, and then BCC turned around. Claudio then hit a big cut. Yuta followed with a big splash up top for their fall. The Young Bucks, they arrived out of nowhere underneath the ring. And they restrained Claudio, obscured to the referee. And the Lucha Brothers hit the Fear Factor on Yuta. 1, 2, 3. Lucha Brothers were tamed. Brian was on commentary. He was livid. And so was Moxley. Brian actually slapped Yuta a few times after the show. So that was funny. But yeah. Lucha Brothers retained. So Moxley cut a bit of a promo afterwards saying if you're squeamish or if you're curious if this will be the most violent match in AEW history, well, you'll see. But ripped into the Young Bucks and said, well, bring your friends and we'll tear them apart as well. This match is going to be fun. I have no doubt a Double or Nothing is going to be very good. I mean, aside from the tag team title match and the TBS title match, I'm like, I'm like, okay, I'm good with the rest of the matches on the card, but besides those two, I'm good with the card. But yeah, that was Dynamite. That was the Golden Show for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, leave a thumbs up, help out the video, help out the channel. Thank you guys all. So Double or Nothing is Sunday. So I will probably have a review on Monday, if not Tuesday, but either way, I'll have a review for you guys sometime next week after Sunday, but you guys will get it. Nonetheless, thank you all. Be safe. See you guys twice next week. So, adios. Peace.